Thank you, Anju. It is indeed a teamwork. Such a massive and a complex topic like education and management. For me, it was like you start painting. And I didn't know from where to start because there was a great rush of ideas. And I spent quite some time in order to structure the book. And then we realized that the lacunae that existed in education was the lack of a text material for students and teachers. It was absolutely like not addressing a reality that teachers required. There was no formal textbook available for education management. There are plenty of management books, but nothing for education management. And India's education and its clientele is the largest in the world. It was very shocking that there was really no material meant for Indian clientele. And I thought that it has to start from the teacher education college. We could have written so for the university education, but that was a step later. Our teachers were very hardworking. Our student teachers have great potential for the future, but there is no scientific approach in going about the whole task of managing classroom, managing evaluation, managing administration, and having a vision or alignment of the vision of the national goals, the state level, and the micro level, the consumer, that is the student. Absolutely no alignment was there. And I have focused in this book especially about that organizations, huge potential of human mind had gone waste because there was no input into recognition of the people that worked in institutions. And I had met lots of good teachers. If at all I am a good teacher today, I claim so, it's because I was lucky to get good teachers. But where were they? They were in small pockets. There was no formal system of documenting this knowledge, then why they were good, why there was good education only in small pockets, how it can be multiplied as a model. I focused on learning organizations, and I've written with special reference to a book called The Fifth Discipline, The Learning Organization by Peter Senge. And that was the focus, and it really took me. I had written almost 37 pages of it, and then I said, excuse me, nobody's going to read so much, so I brought it down to almost 10 pages, but I did include this in the book because though it was not a part of the syllabus, I thought it should be read. There was another aspect in this book is about institutional discipline. In the field of education, whenever somebody says discipline, there is a huge myth understanding that everybody has to be disciplined on their own. All the discipline should be coming within themselves. Never has anybody approached and looking at an event to be regulated, to be planned for, and to put the people at the right places so that there is a smooth functioning and execution. Business houses are very good in doing that, but there was no formal system in education. It was left much to the judgment of the principal, for whom there is no formal training again. In institutes abroad, the principals have to undergo a certificate or at least a diploma course before they assume this post. It is today mandatory for the schools to have some kind of a formal training or a certificate course for principals. But we do not have anything for higher education and the junior college, that is higher secondary education. So we considered all these things, and we have written about institutional discipline, especially with the stakeholders, that is the student in mind, and at the back end, the parents. How discipline percolates up to the society level, that is the parents' views, the student carries it in the classroom and the institute, and the responsibilities taken by the institute for the safety. How safe are our children in their schools? Every parent is worried by the time the child comes home. Is the bus going to be in time? Will there be safety? Is the child free from drugs? Is there some kind of sex scandal inside the school? And with today's rich schools, the chances of crime are very high. So I thought that needed to be penned down. Another aspect in modern education was the institutional network. Very contemporary for field of education. Networking is nothing new, but it has not got formalized in our education system. Lots is left to the instinct of the principal and the principal's desire to use technology for networking. We need to have community portals, we need to have nodes, we need to have centers, as Dr. Sawant said that in New York University, every student is at least member of 100 organizations that work into at different forms, and they are the interface between the society and the institute. So I thought networking was a very important aspect. I have tried my level best to be very dilute and simple, but I thought nevertheless the bulk of the book would increase, but these things need to be included. Then the last was, in the last chapter I have written about the trends. India has not really created its own model, though it very much exists. Our homes, our Gurukul systems, our value systems are huge contributions to the management of education. There is hardly today a school where they tell you that it is important to wish your teacher good morning. It is absolutely fine to walk by a teacher or ignore in the corridor or in the market, which never happened at least 2 decades ago. So there was a huge problem about understanding the generation that was going to come. So I have written a little about the generation and the generation gap. And we as teachers, some of my colleagues are over here, and all the people need to understand to address this generation and how to bridge the gap. There is a level of tolerance that is expected, and also a kind of commitment of credibility so that the child models a good behavior. Technology is invading our life, but technology is only a means by which we enhance humanism. And that is what I have learned, that it is the most important aspect, and we as teachers, the book is actually an open-ended one. It doesn't close into any straight-jacket things. It keeps us thinking that how well we can perform and continue this, the so-called the process of education. In that context, I have referred the last chapter as a part of educational management. Thank you so much.